2, 3, 4.
Welcome to Confessions with the Cougar and the Cub. This is your host, Justin Vandeventer.
And I am the better half of this podcast, Carrie, the Cougar Lazzarino.
This podcast, we are going to give you the male and female perspective on everyday issues and relationship problems.
And I'll give you the right answer from real ladies, just like myself, a true badass.
And I'll try to translate to you cavemen out there that don't quite understand women yet.
So let's dive in.
And enjoy this episode with the Cougar and the Cub. Welcome back, guys, to Confessions with the Cougar and the Cub. This is your host, Justin Vandeventer, and with me is the better looking part of this podcast.
Hey, it's me, Carrie the Cougar.
What's going on, guys? We missed you. All of you guys.
I'm like, who are we missing?
She keeps forgetting that we're talking to other people. So
yeah.
we have a great episode ahead.
Oh my goodness. It's going to be great.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to share. Big Mo with all y'all. You're going to love him. And we're going to have to do a part 2 because he has so many awesome stories. Like, I can listen to him all day long.
Maurice.
But I'm his buddy now.
Yeah,
he said I can call Big Mo.
You guys are friends now, Big Mo.
We're homies. Nah, it's a great one. He was on Shark Tank. Season 15.
Season 15, episode 2.
Which you got to pay for, which we had to pay for.
We did. I don't know. Maybe somebody else can find it, but all the streaming services that I had didn't have season 15.
Right.
So I went out and bought it.
Yeah. So we found out a little bit about him. Cool thing is he's from Chico. So hello, Carrie's from Chico.
Yeah.
So I had
he lost everything in the fires as well.
Yes, like my family and like 20 other thousand people. So it was really cool to get to know him and his invention and how awesome his family, like how they overcame like the craziness of the fire, but rebuilt and went on a show. And like there's the kind of twists and turns. Like
it was kind of cool seeing how Shark Tank didn't screw him over.
Yeah. Like I kind of got some like respect for them now.
Yeah, I do too.
Kind of cool.
It was really kind of nice.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to really love the episode. I'm proud of it.
So, before we get into this episode, we always open the show with an inspirational quote or a quote.
Yeah.
You want to give yours?
Sure enough. Okay. Here's mine. Inspirational. Some situations break your heart, but fix your vision.
Say it again.
Some situations break your heart, but fix your vision. I don't know. I kind of liked it.
We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give.
That's good.
I like it.
I like it too. And then I heard your belly.
Aww. It's been growling.
I know.
So.
Yeah. It's a great one though.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I think it's great. We're on, this is going to be episode 12.
Yeah.
Right? We just did episode. Cruising along. We are really cruising along. You and that other podcast with that other, co-anchor or whatever you want to call him. I'm kidding. You guys just celebrated the 101st episode.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. Good for you guys. And you guys, your numbers are doing fabulous.
Yeah, finally.
So,
we were down in the basement there for a little while, and I was kind of worried, but not too worried because,
It ebbs and flows. And now you guys are up in the east side,
Yeah.
What's that song?
Living on the east side.
Something. Well, it's from the Jeffersons. We both watched that one, but in my head,
Moving on.
That's what it is. To the east side. Yeah.
Yeah. Go check it out. The Stupidest Podcast.
Yep.
But yeah, enough about that.
Yeah. Moving on. I know. Awesome.
So yeah, this is a great episode with I gotta say, a great guy.
Yeah.
And he's not new now.
No.
I guess we found out his year.
Yeah.
Grandpa.
I know.
So
yeah,
that's good.
It's really good.
And all the things that he's lived in his life is pretty cool.
It's really cool. I think everybody
kind of wish, I want to say this because we didn't talk about it in the episode.
Yeah.
How the reason that he ended up in Chico was because he ran out of money.
Yeah.
And he had...
he was in like an
RV.
An RV. And he
went to go cash a cashier's check. It was like his last resort so that they could get a place.
$500.
$5,000.
Oh, 5,000, yes.
5,000.
Yep.
And a cashier's check, and he goes into the bank.
They were driving from Georgia, remember, and he picked up a dog in Texas, I think, yes.
And they get to the bank, and he goes into the bank to go cash the cashier's check.
Yeah.
And he forgot the check in the RV. And when he comes back, the new dog ate the check.
Wow. So they basically had to
I kind of wish we would have brought that up in the episode,
man.
but it was a cool story.
It was really cool. So then, make a long story short, then they basically settled in Chico.
Yep, got
jobs. Worked at the dealership, Whitmire Auto Mall, which is a huge dealership. I got one or two or three cars from there. So kind of cool. And then they stayed there for, a series of years. And now they live on the outskirts, kind of north of town, went through the fires. And then just, they're doing great. He's such a family man.
Yeah.
He even said that he's like, yeah, it's not, business isn't my thing. And
he's into the good side of the military.
Yes. Yeah. Not he said,
not the
not the
gunfighting
guns.
side,
No.
But the family part of it.
And things like that. Yeah.
Which is really cool.
He was
a really nice guy from Germany.
Yeah.
That was another cool part.
That was cool. I should have had him count to 10. I remember my cousins, one of them was born in Germany because her dad was in the army. And I just remember when we were little, I'm like, teach me how to count. And then, eins, zwei. But it's the six. I think it says sex. So as a kid, I was like, it still makes me laugh.
You're such a boy.
I'm such a boy. Anywho, yeah. He was awesome though.
With any further ado, should we get into this?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, here's Maurice. All right, we're here with Maurice from Shark Tank.
Hey.
How are we doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for coming on.
Definitely.
Yeah. Pleasure.
We were so excited. Justin had been, scrolling on Facebook or TikTok or whatever, and he sent me this post, and I went to click on it, and I was like, okay, it's Shark Tank. What is it? And then I watch it some more, and I'm like, oh,
let's be honest, she didn't watch the whole thing. She was just like, cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, isn't it cool that he's from Chico? And she's like, I didn't even know that. And I was like, yeah. That's the whole reason I sent it to you. So it was a clip of you were on season 15, episode 2.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Last year's season.
Nice.
Yeah, we filmed it a couple months before that.
Nice.
What's so funny is we went to watch it, and Justin had to pay for it because we had all the episodes that were free except your season.
Oh, what?
Yeah. That's what we're saying.
About that.
So it was $1.50. Yeah, that was so funny. No, but anyway, we watched it, and it was so cool to see somebody, from where I'm from. So it was really exciting. And so with that, tell us a little bit about yourself, Maurice.
Well, I moved here from Germany in '89 and had a few various jobs, and then started my own business and band. And the Shark Tank thing came about by a little invention that some friends of mine did that I then ran with, and I've been living here in North Valley since 1989.
Wow. And you have a new grandbaby, you said? And
I do. He's a year and a half old now. Time flies.
Oh my gosh.
His name's Milo.
Cute.
And we were playing Hot Wheels all Christmas Day.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. They're so much fun.
Oh my God,
they
so
get.
much fun.
Yeah, they really are. Just the one. Then do you just have the one child and the one grandchild? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I have one son and one grandson.
Nice.
Daughter-in-law.
Okay. And then you're up in Northern California, Chico kind of paradise area. Yeah. Yeah, I think I kind of briefly explained too. I am also from that area. My parents and brothers all still live in Paradise. And that's kind of what drew me to really want to have you on the show, because we just did an interview with my brothers and with my mom, because unfortunately, they too were part of the campfires in 2018, like yourself, and lost everything. So can you tell us a little bit about what happened with you, maybe the day of, and what you experienced?
Yeah, the day of it was traumatic for everybody, and it's probably one of the worst days for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I was coming back from Las Vegas, actually, from a show that I was doing. Mm-hmm. And I had an early, kind of a nighttime flight. It was like a 6:00 flight. So I was flying in just when the fire started, is when I landed, and I started getting these warnings, evacuate. And I called my son and my wife. I said, and we also had my niece from Germany visiting at my house. and her friend. And I said, I called my wife. My wife, was more, she was like, oh, well, finish showering. I got to get packing some stuff. I said, no, this sounds really bad. I need you to leave now.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, all communication was down. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, I'm an hour and a half away. I just got in the car and drove way too fast.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't end up in jail.
Yeah. Well, you'd have good reason if you did, but yeah.
And then I couldn't get up the road. They had blocked me.
Yeah, up the hill, yeah.
I was 2 seconds away from running through the police barricade when I finally got my wife on the phone. It's like, I don't care. My wife's up there. My son's up there.
Wow. I'm coming.
But I didn't know how bad it was, and it took them hours to get down the hill, of course. They went through the whole horrible thing there. Yeah.
It took like 8 hours or something like that. My mom was saying, my mom was at the lowest part, and she said, like, she was at like Pence where Ace Hardware was, and she said it took like 6 to 8 hours. She was like the first hit. I remember calling her and saying, are you evacuating? And she's like, nope. And then I called back half hour later, and she's like, I'm evacuated. Like, and then I didn't talk to her for 8 hours, and I was just, so I feel for you thinking that your family is up there. How scary that must have been.
Well, that was horrifying. And then, so my wife, luckily my son was on the way to our house to pick up my niece and her friend to take them to the airport. Right at that time. So they were luckily already packed.
Yeah.
And I told my son, don't leave the house unless you take Robin. My wife's name's Robin. She needs to go now. So she understood it finally and just took the dog, but then she was looking for the cat and couldn't find our cat, Selkie.
Aww.
So that was kind of a bummer. We had to leave the cat behind, and they ran. And then we met down at the bottom of the Skyway.
Yep.
And I frantically tried to call a hotel somewhere because, this time 20,000 people are coming for a hotel.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, and we found one in Marysville, a motel room, one motel room for the 4 of us with the dog.
Wow.
And that little motel in Marysville, it was a very, I don't want to call it cheap, but,
Yeah. I mean, motel and hotel, I think, and.
It was a motel.
Yeah, exactly.
But those people were so nice there.
That's good.
They understood.
Yeah.
And, you must have seen it in the faces of the people that were arriving,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what we looked like, but a friend that came to visit later said that came to the hotel and brought us some beers.
You're going to need these.
He owns a brewery. He said, I'm bringing you guys some beers. And he showed up at the hotel. He said, my gosh, you guys look like something he'd never seen before, wide-eyed panic. Anyway, they were so nice there. And they were distributing clothes and toothbrushes. And they didn't even ask about the dogs. They gave extra trash cans. And,
wow.
There's only 2 beds in the room, small beds.
Yeah.
There was 4 of us, so we kind of slept.
My goodness.
For a while. And then, from there on, we just kind of started realizing what's going on. And, like a lot of, at this point, I know that we had it better than a lot of people. Because we were under a roof, because, it started raining the next couple of days really bad. And,
which probably helped.
Turned into a mud mess.
Exactly. If I remember correctly, 84, I think, passed, and then, many displaced. Like I said, my family was displaced too. And, even going up there, like we were back home in October and looking at Paradise and Magalia, it's so weird that you would think after this many years, what are we in 2018?
Like it should, years.
To me, I'm like, I think it should be rebuilt at least a little bit better, but I don't know. Speaking of that, you had businesses and homes up there, right? Yeah. So you lost quite a bit.
Yeah. It's a bit of a horrible story. It's my own fault, but I had my plan for retirement basically was to have my rentals,
Okay, so rental homes.
These rentals, and I worked really, really hard for many, many years to pay them all off so that they could be, retirement income basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And but I said, you know what? While I still can, I'm going to take all my savings and renovate them all to the tip-top condition.
Oh my!
So that I don't have to do that while I'm
yes.
Retired, right? So I do it while I can. So I took all my savings, gave it to the contractor, and he rebuilt them all and told the insurance guy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where I did a mistake. I didn't follow up with the insurance guy, but he did know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to put just a construction insurance on it during the construction time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't. And so I had no insurance and all that.
Oh, no.
That went my whole retirement.
Oh,
so,
my God.
So but that's really, we got out alive, and the insurance paid for our home, and they helped me rebuild my business that burned. So
what was, Maurice, what was your business? And I want to get into the other thing, that the invention, but was your business a part of like what you went on Shark Tank for? Was this a separate business?
No, that was all part of it.
Okay.
During my time at the business doing, I go to the militaries all over Europe, especially when the Swiss army was downsizing, and then the wall came down from Eastern Europe, Eastern Germany. A lot of stuff became available, and it's all, now let me just say this up front, it's all soft goods. I'm not into military hardware.
Of course,
so
yes.
We're talking clothing, socks and shoes and blankets and sweaters and, all this incredible stuff that was such great quality that they made for the military to last forever.
Wow.
And it's basically recycling, and what are they going to do with it? They just want to get rid of it. So I would buy it fairly cheap over there, put it in containers, bring it over here, sort through it, and then sell it to stores all across the country. What kind
of stores are you talking? Are we talking like,
oh man, from all the way from Hot Topic to Millfleet Farm to every mom and pop military surplus store in the country, collection stores, antique stores,
so when we talked
shops.
When we were talking earlier, you said you knew the owner of Mills Fleet. Is that how you met him?
Yes, Stu Mills. That's how I met him. I met him at a trade show, and we just hit it off. He was about 20 years older than me, but we just became really good friends, and we traveled together to Europe many times, rummaging through old military bases, buying stuff. He was really into surplus. He had big surplus sections, and he liked my music. And if you walk into a military farm, he'd have a section where my CDs were selling, and there was a big video screen of me singing.
Oh my gosh!
I always apologize to all the employees that have to hear me all the time.
No, and we're going to get to that because you were good.
Yeah, you're phenomenal.
We were like, oh my gosh. And I've probably seen you in Chico or something, because I did see one of your videos where you were like in the downtown Chico. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it is like so good. But also you mentioned like hanging out with the Fleet Farm guy over in our neighbor Green Bay, huh?
Absolutely. He was on the board of directors of the Green Bay Packers, so he was part of the team.
Yeah.
And
we won't hold that against him.
He had a booth there. And, so
Minnesotans don't like the Green Bay very well, even though Aaron Rodgers was playing for him. Yeah.
Yes, and he was a big fan of the Minnesota game too, because his main house was in Brainerd.
Oh, funny! So, it's right up the hill.
So he's a bit torn, but he was both.
Too funny.
And then his team ended up with Brett Favre anyway. It was all kind of complicated at the time, but I remember I met all the players there, and I met Aaron Rodgers. And
oh wow!
All those people at the games, and we sometimes went to Lembo's Steakhouse the night before with the opposing team.
Wow,
it was a lot of fun.
You're kind of a big shot here, Mr. Maurice. I like it.
Oh no, I was just.
He's like, you're just making me blush. You stop it. Keep on saying it. No, I'm kidding.
I was just in the shadow of some fun people.
That's cool. You were in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, he was just such a great guy. Yeah.
That's cool. And you said I think you mentioned he passed on now quite some years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were in Minnesota at his funeral last year. As the service.
Wow.
And
wow. Yeah, we have a Fleet Farm right up. Is that Fleet Farm?
Yeah, Fleet Farm right here in town now.
Yeah, we got one right there in town.
Yeah, it got sold to some big conglomeration company.
Okay.
It was, him and his twin brother started it, in the 50s, 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And grew the whole thing. And then right before he passed, it got sold when he got sick. And his brother passed first, and then...
oh, wow.
Yeah, the family decided to sell it, and so it's not. I don't have any connections there anymore. They don't care.
They don't play your music anymore, huh?
No. I'm sure they kicked it out by now.
That's funny. With all of that said, and after the fires and stuff, my thought is that the storm bag, the invention, did it somehow come from that? And we'll get to the invention, but did you kind of spark it because of the fires, or?
Well, I actually invented, or was part of some other people were involved helping it too, but they ended up running with it.
Yeah.
And that was all, 18 years ago maybe already.
Wow. So it took you that long until now, a year ago. Wow.
Well, we were selling them.
Okay.
And we had some customers in the military. Some bases in Hawaii, actually, and hospitals and things like that. And so I kind of thought, well, it's just an industrial thing that these bases, I just had so much other stuff going that I didn't think it necessarily was a everyday consumer item. I just, I just didn't think. I had so many things going on. And then after the fire, my son, who had a good career in graphic arts and decided, because I was like, do I have the energy now to rebuild this whole business? All my stuff was based on having the goods, and I had 30,000 square feet full of goods that all burned to the ground, and how am I ever going to
rebuild?
It was just such a daunting task.
I can imagine.
So my son said, Dad, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to come in with you, and we're going to do this.
Wow.
Said, really? I never wanted to ask him to join the business. I didn't want to make him feel like he needed to.
Right.
I just didn't want to do that to him.
You said he was a graphic designer. Like, was he like a freelance? So he was able to kind of, okay. Cause I've looked at some of his, I've looked at some of his TikTok stuff, and he's very talented, even just like with his videos and stuff like that. Like, he's great with marketing and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Really cool. Very talented, Miles.
Yeah. He did freelance. He did some work for newspapers and he's just a great artist. He had some art in the modern art MoMA in San Francisco. Yeah. So he's a great artist, and I didn't want to take that away from him by getting him into business, because I lived those two worlds all my life. I've been a musician all my life and a business person, and sometimes one can take from the other or dull the other.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works out to do both, but it is a conflict in the soul somewhere. You have to do both. What
made this storm bag, though, out of all the different kind of items that you had, that you had been buying and had in like the 30, maybe 1,000 like square foot, like what was it about the bags that were like, this is what we're going to roll with, though? Why this?
Well, I've been rolling with all our items, and everything's smooth going along. My son said, Dad, you're not giving enough attention to your storm bags. They're really something,
Yeah.
And I said, well, yeah, but he said, we're going to go to a trade show in Los Angeles. Let's go. It's called a national disaster trade show. All right. So we drove down there, and we had a booth, the two of us. And for 3 days, all day long, I was given the spiel on these storm bags. I left performing anyway, so I turned every little spiel into a little performance.
And at the end spiel for our audience, like they may not know it. We already know it, but tell us the little spiel.
Well, I'm sitting there with the tank and the bags, and people walking by in the trade show, and they wouldn't stop just for a fish tank looking thing.
No.
So I would yell out in the hallway and say, "Hey, have you ever seen an automatic sandbag?" They go, huh? And that kind of get the things rolling, and then I would demonstrate it. I would have one swell up, which is kind of impressive when you see a bag going from 1 pound to 32 pounds in a minute.
Crazy.
And I did that all day long, and I was so tired at the end of the third day. I was just sitting down, and Miles said, "You know what? I'm going to film this last one. Do one more, please." I said, "All right, I'll do one more." So I did one more, sitting down, tired.
Yeah.
And we packed up. He put it on TikTok. We're driving home this was in LA. We're driving home. It's an 8-hour drive.
Yep.
Halfway on the drive, he says, "Dad, I just looked on TikTok." I said, "What's going on?"
You went viral.
We're already at 4 million views. I said, "What?"
That's
in
crazy.
4 hours. By the time we got home, it was 12 million, and then it went on Facebook for another 4 million, and it just went crazy. And I'm like, "You kidding me?" And then, literally 2 weeks later, Shark Tank calls.
They called you?
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
People apply and stuff.
Yes.
And somebody said, "I'm so-and-so from Shark Tank." And I said, "No, I have no interest," because I thought they wanted to sell me advertising time. That's usually what Anybody calls me, it's because they want money.
Yes. Yes. Get in line. Get in line, buddy.
Yeah. It's like, no. I hung up on the guy. And he calls up again and says, don't hang up. I'm the producer of the Shark Tank.
Wow.
And then it went from there. And so we were very happy that he called.
Holy cow. That is so crazy. Yeah.
So who was the creator of the sandbag then? Like you said, you knew some people. Who's the actual inventor then?
Well, it was us, me and a guy and another guy that was kind of working on the idea, and then I had to come up with the production and how to make it and market it, and then it just became a very expensive and long drawn out thing. After that, when you have an idea, the actual putting it into action is the hard work.
Right. Because then you have to probably design it, and then is it patented, or is that kind of...
You have to go through all of that. You have to figure out how it's going to work. And then it took 2 years until I had it to where it really worked.
Right.
And a lot of money and risk. And at the end, nobody else wanted to really do it but me.
Mm-hmm.
I stuck with it and then just kept doing it and luckily stuck with it long enough to where, and it's not like it's now a huge, money making bomb or anything.
Right. I mean,
what happened is it got our name out there.
Notoriety, right? It gave you some notoriety. Now you can, just even on your website, when we went to the website and it said as seen on Shark Tank,
exactly.
that's kind of a cool thing. But I'm sure those other people that were involved are probably kicking themselves damn it, I should have stayed on board.
Possibly. Yeah, that's very possible.
Yeah.
It's, it did boost sales a lot for a while. Now that's kind of slowed down a little bit because people's memories aren't, short term.
Yeah.
And as that show was showing and then when it repeated, we sold a bunch, of course, that day. And we did get some interest from around the world, from other countries. We're selling some here and there.
Yeah.
So I got to say that we were selling maybe a couple hundred a month before. Now it's a couple thousand a month.
Well, that's really good.
So it definitely helped.
So is it going to like an individual? Can they go in to as I saw, you can buy them on the website, you can get a pack of 10 or 20. Is that how most people do it? Or could you go into a Mills or into some big, how does somebody that's listening now that's their house flooded? Because I also watched that too on the show. That was really interesting how say you oh God, you talked about something about on the farm or something, and maybe you can describe a little bit. That was really cool. So I wondered too if some of that, if the inventors helped with that, because it sounded like that one girl, the blonde gal, she kind of threw that out there, little small bags.
She threw it out to make a small bag, but I didn't want to necessarily discuss in length there with her why that wouldn't work.
Oh, okay.
Because if you think about a small bag, then you're almost like a little bag that you see in some products that dries out things instead of watering things.
Oh, yeah.
So a small bag in a small environment, all it would do is just suck out the water that's there.
Okay.
And make it even drier. So for something like that with the plants, what we do is around a tree, for example, out where I live in Corn, it's really hot.
Yes, it's very hot
in the summer
and dry. Yes.
And so, very dry. So when we go on vacation, we put 5 of the big bags around the trunk of the tree, hydrate them, and then they're full of water, and the gel slowly releases the water over the next 2 weeks.
Wow.
So it'll save you from having to water that tree.
Well, and we're all rationing too. Most of California, all of my life, I feel like it was always rationing.
Works great for that.
Exactly. Now, they're reusable too, right?
Yeah, the burlap is, they will so the burlap will biodegrade over a while.
Okay.
Which is food for the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Then the polymer inside will still work for a long time. So if it rains, that dirt around there that now has a polymer in there will hold the water much longer.
Okay.
When there's a lot more water than it really needs, it'll hold it. And when it dries out, it'll release it again. So it'll work for years to come. And it's fantastic. So
really cool.
It's really good for soil. So but I think,
Why did you decide on 32-pound bags?
Because that is the weight of a regular sandbag. We didn't want to reinvent the wheel. So all the people that work with sandbags, let's say the National Guard or people that are out there, Red Cross, anybody, when there's work to be done with sandbags, there's certain ways and parameters they have to work with sandbag.
Okay.
That is 32 pounds and the same size and the same material, basically, as our bags.
Okay.
Of similar material. So we didn't want to, let's say, somebody wants to buy a lot of them and use them for that purpose. They don't have to relearn anything.
Nice.
That's smart.
And we're not over the limit that they say a weight should be for let's say OSHA or for anybody that's,
right.
We didn't want to make a 50-pound bag or
right.
a too small a bag that wouldn't work that they're not used to.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you and both Miles the co-owners of, is it, because again, like going back to like the website, it looked like there were quite a few different like brands and stuff on your website. So,
yeah. Well, it's my company. It's called SwissLink. And my son slowly pushing more and more stuff to me, slowly taking over.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start thinking about singing some more.
Yeah. We want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Might get you to sing a tune. Yeah.
So our brands that we have is it's all still under SwissLink.
Okay.
And we have a couple different brands. One is the storm bags that we, are doing. And then we also do the Wavian gas cans, fuel cans with the best gas can in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do, my son being a designer, designs beautiful wool blankets.
Ooh.
And we have those made in India with 80% beautiful wool. And it's just absolutely gorgeous, heavyweight, wool blankets.
Yeah.
And so we make those, and that's the SwissLink Classic Wool. And we also make some wool pants and wool sweaters, and that's under the SwissLink Classic Wool. And then we also do our, military surplus and survival and camping stuff. So it's all under the same company, SwissLink. So
did you get mostly like into like the military and things like that? Like I know you mentioned that you had a father that was a GI and is that why you have so much kind of like towards that or geared towards that? Yeah, I grew up in the military. My wife also grew up in the military. Her father was a doctor and a colonel in the military. And I spent a lot of time. My dad had a business on the military base. After he got out of the military, I worked for the U.S. military in Germany for a long time when I was diving and stuff, and also did some other work for them and worked for the University of Maryland. And they had a deal with the U.S. Army in Europe called the European Division of University of Maryland. And I worked for them for a while through the military. So I've been very comfortable always with military and military personnel and just kind of seemed like a natural gravitation for you. Yeah, it's kind of a family. I don't like other things about military. I'm not I'm not into guns or stuff like that at all. It's just there is another side that a lot of people that don't grow up in military families don't know. Right. And it's a really great kind of a family, like a community, and everybody has their backs. And it's a great community. So I've always worked with militaries, and then I had a lot of people that I knew that worked in the field. And so when I started getting into the military surplus business, I just kind of ended up at every military base in Europe, knowing everybody that was in charge of getting rid of all the stuff. And it just kind of, I got to know a lot of people in high places, and it was exciting, going over there. And you imagine you're going to East Germany just after the wall fell, and there's this Russian army base full of people that would have killed me if I would have walked in there a week before. Right. And they're tasked with getting rid of everything in this huge army base that they were protecting with their life for, thinking that they're going to have to use it any second, right? Yeah. So walks in this guy, me, and said, "I want all your blankets." Well, don't you want these 500 MiG airplanes and 6,000 machine guns here? No, I don't. I just want the blankets, which I just saw I saw the blankets that you were talking about. Those are so cool. The ones that your son did. I was kind of drawn to the plaid one just because I'm in Minnesota, the and plaids, everybody loves the beautiful plaid. Yeah. So, I that adventure, and then they're saying, well, you can have those blankets, but, you got to pay me right now, cash, and then you have to go back over somewhere and fill a suitcase with cash and go back. And there's these
former, who knows, agents and guys. I mean, it was quite some adventures for a while. And,
wow.
And the horrible part is that they mostly were alcoholics that just loved this slew of its horrible stuff. Two of them, and you don't even know where you are anymore. And I'm not a drinker,
Right.
So
us either.
Every sentence they end up like, you have to drink one of those, and I had to find ways of spilling it behind my head.
Exactly.
Or drink.
They're like, Maurice, why is the pedal behind your head? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm just sweating profusely. Who cares? Damn you.
So anyway, that alone would be worth a whole adventure worth of stories.
Absolutely. I know. Well,
Bulgaria, Romania, Transylvania, Czechoslovakia, Slovakia, all these places I went to, buying up all their soft goods.
Sounds like you need to write a book, man. You got some tales to tell.
I actually have written a book also.
Really?
Called Jake and the Hot Air Balloon.
Oh, I'm gonna have to write that in. Jake and the Hot Air Balloon.
Hmm?
How cool is that? What's it about?
It's published, and it's about what it is. Stories that I told my son when he was little.
Aww.
That I made up, and I made the stories up. And a lot of parts of them are from my adventures from going around the world so much.
How cool.
And things, and I just made it a little bit into more of a child-friendly story with a little mouse and a hot air balloon. And,
Aww.
And then
cool.
I finally wrote it.
We're going to have to look at that. I've been writing a book, and I'm hoping to publish it
awesome.
this year. Yeah. And
what's it about?
Well, it's a memoir, and I will tell my story. I too was on a TV, and I went on a talk show a couple of years ago. And so if you were to, I haven't told my story on our podcast. However, on my fiance's podcast, I have. But if you just Google my name of Chico, California, you'll see the story. It wasn't a great one, but it was it was in 2013. You'll see it. It was unfortunately, it was pretty big news back then. But because of that story, it is my life's mission to help perpetrators' families. So my hope is to have a nonprofit one day, hopefully be a TEDx speaker, and to really help families that are lost in the shuffle, that aren't necessarily victims, but they're still victims to some sort. Yeah. So yeah, but that's so. Well, you and I'll have to talk more off the camera, about that, because it's kind of cool. But I meant to ask you. I wanted to really quickly go back. Who was your favorite about the show? Who was your favorite coach? Just curious. Like, I have my favorite, but who was yours?
At the Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Well, we kind of thought that we picked the right team, because I was thinking that Lori, with her television sales that she has there, her sales channels, that it might be a good one. And I also, it's hard to say. I almost later thought maybe I should have picked the other team, but I don't know if you know how it all played out at the end anyway. But
well, you had both of them. Like, we were watching, we're like, holy crap!
Yes, we did get both of them.
Yeah, that's
they were both
cool.
very excited.
Yes,
and then the way it happens is a lot of due diligence afterwards, and they go through, and now you have two of them. You have all their lawyers and all their accountants, and going through your business, and you have 5,000 forms and then 5,000 more. And then, Mark's team called me up and said, gosh, I don't think we're bringing anything to the table. You have distribution, you have sales team, you have the product, you have packaging.
Like, what do you need us for? He
says, really what you need is just, if this gets on the TV show, then you have an item.
There you go.
And he almost said, like, we don't want to take candy from the child.
Wow.
That's
cool.
They were very open about that and cool about it, that, would be maybe not the best thing for us to give away that much of the company for $200,000.
Right.
And I agreed.
That's cool.
But we still didn't know at that time that we're going to be, you don't know until the day before if you're even going to be shown.
Oh.
Because they filmed double as many, but they only show half of them.
So you got a deal, but you didn't get a deal.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh. Even though, so for us viewers, we're watching it and we see that you got picked by like two sets. They both wanted you.
Yeah,
and then,
the handshake.
Yeah. So then
we were going to do it. And I felt a little, I was thinking, okay, well, if it doesn't get shown on TV, it would have helped that they're with us because they might have been helping us do some advertising later, to get the market.
Right.
Yep.
If it is going to be on the show, I felt right there and then that they're getting something for free because
you've already done all the legwork.
We already did all the legwork, and they're going to get 20 or 30% of the business for only $200,000. And I'm like, I don't know, And so we didn't know if we're going to get aired or not. So it was a big risk to just let this handshake contract, go.
Yeah.
But we did let it go. And
wow.
And even Mark and the team don't know if it's going to get aired. That's up to the network.
Right.
They look at it and go, okay, is it TV worthy? Which ones? What do people want to see again? If it's going to be a good one or not.
Wow.
Luckily, they liked ours. And Mark had told me, he says, Maurice, you're going to sell 50,000 of those bags that night.
and how many did you sell, Maurice? How many?
Exactly 50,000. I mean,
oh my God.
It's just amazing because they know their math, right? Because they know if it's a decent item that this many million people watch the show, that converts to so many sales. I mean, they've been doing this for so long, they know it.
Wow.
And so it was pretty exciting the first couple of months. We couldn't keep up, and we now it's what happens. So we got all the items, we got them all made, we got them all sold. We have the materials all in because it took forever to get all the materials. And now there's a lull, and hopefully everybody that has them now will sell them and want to order again.
Wow. That is so cool. Yeah. Cause we watched it and I didn't realize that. That's really, and that's really cool though that they did that. Like they didn't have to, they could have just been like, it's like taking,
people.
like taking candy from a child, but like, that they have some morals and some ethics. So
yes. Really and, cool. They might have had other reasons too that they might have not told us. Maybe that was just a way of making it nice. Who knows? Perhaps. Also, we were a little bit complicated for them because it is part of a bigger company.
Oh, true.
Stormbag. So we would have to separate the whole company out of the Stormbag company.
Yeah. And
that takes a lot of extra steps, and they don't want to spend too much time on a lot of extra steps.
I can see that.
That's something that they're not. I heard that too during the whole process that might be a little bit of a problem, that we should prepare to make those steps real easy. And we did. We had it all ready to make a separate LLC, a Delaware company or something with them.
Right.
But it does take a lot of extra, now you got to calculate how much time you're taking on the storm bags to share with the partners, or do we put a whole different building? And it's,
right.
It was, I think it went okay the way it went. And we were excited about it. We had, first of all, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The product's getting out to the public, which is great because besides business, I'm not a great business person. I gotta admit it. Business is not my first.
Right. Music is your first.
Goal.
It sounds like, huh? Which we got to get there.
Well, music, but also humanity. Things that are good for people.
Yeah.
And when you want to do really brutal business, it's somewhere it's not going to be good for somebody.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
That's just the way it is. And I've never experienced it any different. All the people that I know that are just all business are walking
You can't have a big heart.
Yeah.
They don't have a big heart. They're walking over skeleton bones.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just, I wish I was. Maybe I don't. No, I don't.
No.
I mean, we just want to make sure that our employees are taken care of. And really what I'm excited about is to get this in people's hands, because I've been talking. A lady from Florida, from New York, called me. Mm-hmm. She was 85 years old. She said they were giving out sandbags because her basement was starting to flood again, and she could not go there and pick up a sandbag. Nobody was going to help her. She got a box of ours. They only weigh a pound. She was able to get it down in the basement, put it where it had to be, and she just thanked me so much.
Wow.
For coming up and helping her with that, because it's been really bothering her for a long time, and she every time loses a lot of stuff in her basement apartment. And so things like that. Tell you the truth,
knowing you helped somebody out.
Corny, but it makes you feel better than making an extra profit.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So then, with that said, where do you see the company, either as a whole with all the other entities? Where do you see your guys' self, in 5 years?
Well, it's been going pretty good. The gas cans are doing good.
Yeah.
They're the safest gas cans, and they're all EPA carb proof. We spend years. And
they look good. They don't look like the typical,
they don't leak any fumes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just what they are is a real safe way to transport gas.
Yeah,
which I really like.
Yeah.
I use them myself.
Yeah.
So that's doing really good. We're the sole distributor.
Okay.
And then the blankets are doing good. We have 15 employees. I treat them all well. They all have good conditions. And
where's your base camp? Where's the business?
Chico. It's right on the way to Durham on the left side.
Oh yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right across from the graveyard there behind the motorcycle shop.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's doing good. We have a lot of great young talent in there that's working with us. I don't know if you've seen this recent video. She said she saw some. We have a team that just does that, which is really fun, I got to admit. I come from the days where you just call somebody and send a catalog. Right?
Yeah.
My son soon told me, hey, Dad, it's videos these days. No more, not even emails. You gotta
No. Yeah. I mean, you send a link now.
We're making a video a day. I mean, it's so much fun.
It is.
Gosh, we have a goofy Swissling TV show.
Oh my gosh.
We put on.
That's
and
cool.
I invite musical guests sometimes. It's just fun.
Speaking of musical, because like he's a musician too. You guys should do a jam out session. No, seriously. Like
I'm not a musician.
No, he's got a beautiful voice. You have a beautiful voice, and you also did I see like you do guitar too, or are you just vocals?
Yeah. I play guitar, write all the songs.
In an 8-piece band called Big Mo and the Full Moon Band.
Yeah.
Very cool. How long have you guys been a band?
I've been playing music all my life, pretty much.
Yeah.
But this band here, until recently, with the same guys, been together for 25 years.
Wow.
And we, we played the Monterey Bay Blues Festival, and
I'm from Monterey.
That was great, and
Yeah.
we were awarded the best blues band in 2006 or something. Was a big worldwide blues competition there at the Monterey Bay Blues Festival.
Yeah.
So when we won that,
Nice.
we got really busy for a long time.
That's cool. So how many gigs are you guys doing? Do you guys do mostly around like Chico and Northern California, or do you guys do some traveling?
Yeah, we do some traveling, and I go to Europe 2-3 times a year and play over there.
Wow.
But I still have, fans from over there, and then we travel. We do a lot of gigs around here. I could do enough gigs here to keep me totally busy. But we do some festivals and things like that. And
I think you guys got some awards and some notoriety. I thought I saw on the website too.
Yeah. We got quite a few awards there, and I played with a lot of the greats. I was very
drop some names. I saw on the website too.
Some stages with a lot of people, and it's just been great. I just love it. I never gave my business up to go in the bus. I had an opportunity a few times, but I just, I can do pretty much the gigs that I want and still control my own schedule, and mainly have spent time with my son.
Family.
And I'm glad I was able to do that.
You just can't back that.
Out great.
Yeah, that's awesome. You just can't get back that time. And as much as could you have been, some great like, James Brown or, Morrison or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But you know what? You just don't know. But you have the family, and that's I think that's sounds like one of your biggest accomplishments.
And then I really got to meet, speaking about Jim Morrison, I played a bunch of gigs with Ray Manzarek, his keyboard player.
Yeah, that's exciting.
From the Doors.
Wow.
And, did shows with some of the people that I just admired all my life, and so I'm just very fortunate.
Wow.
I think I just had a great time doing both.
Yeah.
The business world was fun, and I didn't let it take over, and the music world's fun, and I'm now pushing. I had a little bit of a break with the music for a year because I had a issue with my neck, and I had the surgery done, and I'm all good, so I'm heading back out.
That's awesome. Well, next time we're in Chico, you and I, we're fast friends. Like we have so much more that we have to talk about. I'm excited. I want to see you play. I want to go to one of your little, I'm always bragging about how Chico, downtown is so amazing. And we went back home in October, and I was all over telling Justin, look here. I used to be here. So hopefully you'll play it
there's
one of the
you guys should come to the May 4th. We're playing the Fort Bragg Blues Festival.
Oh, Fort Bragg. I've only been to Fort Bragg once, and you know how everybody out there, they're all like, I'm from Monterey, so I'm from like the other part of the ocean.
Oh, well, yeah. I love Monterey.
Exactly. Like when you said the festival, I was like, yep, that's where I was born. I was born in Carmel, spent 18 years.
Did you ever go to the Monterey Bay Blues Festival?
I
played there like 5 years in a row.
Yeah. I mean, I was there until I was 18, and then I moved up to Sacramento, Davis, and then up to Paradise Chico. So yeah, it would have been, when I was younger, but probably didn't appreciate it as much. But yeah, no, always went to that kind of stuff. Went and saw the Oak Ridge Boys one time at the fairgrounds. My dad used to own a limo company out in Salinas, and so so I was like his, somebody had won a contest to go to see, the Oak Ridge Boys at the fairgrounds. Awesome. And so my dad and I dressed up in our, with our cummerbunds, and yeah, this is pretty.
That's great.
Yeah, so no. Most of
Monterey is one of my favorite places on earth, and it's mainly because of first of all the climate, of course, and then that bay. Because I spent a lot of time in my life on the ocean with my previous job.
Yeah,
and the appreciate the wildlife there and the ocean there. And the water is just incredible.
It is cool. I used to ditch a lot of school. My sophomore year, I would go to Manresa State Beach out of Santa Cruz, and I would go boogie boarding. But
nice.
Yes, my mom is from Pacific Grove, California. My dad's from Monterey. I was born in Carmel, and I moved to Prunedale when I was a little kid. So
awesome.
I know. So lots of fun stuff. But you have been so much fun. I feel like we're gonna have to do a part 2. Like no joke. We're going to have to do it.
Especially just about the band.
I know. We did do plugs too. And so, like I said, I did a video. So, we'll like tag you on it and all that. And then we'll do our little promoting, and then you can do your promoting too. But, you've been so much fun. Do you have anything, that you want to like share about, anything else that we didn't talk about? I know I feel like I rushed you the last like 15 minutes here, but.
Well, it's, I just want, if I can talk to people in general, I think, most important thing that everybody should worry about is health, security, and happiness. Nice. And if you can reach a couple of those, and maybe all 3, then it's all good.
Great words spoken by you. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. You've been a pleasure, Maurice. Like,
absolutely.
Oh, well,
so
thank
wonderful.
you so much for calling me. I was pretty excited to talk to you, and I'm going to look you up a little bit more here and follow your podcast, and I'm going to put all the links up, and
perfect.
And,
yes.
Looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm glad we found you. This was great.
I can't believe it. Like,
and I've already downloaded quite a bit of your music.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan. I love it. You're a great singer.
Yeah.
Oh, I love singing. That's my thing. I spent some time in Italy at the opera.
Nice.
In the mid '80s, and
I sang in six or 7 different choirs in high school. Sang in college, and
were you doing the soprano as a young boy, or did you go in later?
I never got to soprano. I was the first guy to ever join the all girls choir.
He was looking for babes.
Yeah. My high school choir teacher actually made me an alto too.
Oh, okay.
And
how old were you?
I was a junior in high school.
Oh, okay. Okay, you already passed the voice break.
Yep. And the funny thing was when I started as a freshman, I was a bass.
Oh.
And I moved my voice. We stretched my voice out so much that by the time I was a senior, I was a tenor 1, and
wow.
And I could play with alto, but it hurt. It shredded my voice.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
yeah.
I hope you're still singing.
Oh,
I do when I can. I sing all the time.
Karaoke and stuff like that. Great. But he does a great, I'd never heard of Gary Allan before. And his voice, Justin's voice is, I would say like that's like the most that you emulate. I think that you would sound like.
Yeah, you didn't lose the bass, did you? The ladies look like when you sing the bass.
Yeah, I didn't lose the bass at all. To be honest, right now, I could never go as high as I was before. I just haven't stretched my vocals that much as I did back then. So,
well, you know what? Stretching is the natural thing to do, is to stretch the vocal cords.
Mm-hmm.
What we learned in the Italian opera school is to actually totally relax them, because then they can vibrate more.
Yep.
You can go as high as you want, but it takes forever to teach your vocal cords to relax instead of stretching them. But it's a great method if you want to get into it and practice that a little bit. You can sing as do whatever you want.
Absolutely. I'm most comfortable right around a baritone to a tenor. Tenor too.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, we'll be doing some looking out on some of your stuff, and maybe one day you and Justin could jam out, or I don't know. Something.
That would be cool. That'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I know. Well, we're going to sign off probably for now.
Yeah,
it's been so good. If you
have a great weekend.
Yes, you as well. Thank you so much. And then I'll be in contact with you through Facebook, and then we'll just keep on with the emails and any kind of links and stuff. But have a wonderful night.
You too.
Enjoy. Yeah, you said you have family coming, so enjoy your family time. Thanks for taking the time.
It's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be great.
Okay.
Enjoy that grandson.
Yeah, definitely.
I got the Hot Wheels ready for him.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great night, Maurice.
Well, that was the episode. What'd you think?
I mean, I loved it. I'm still like ear to ear grinning. And yeah, I got I just learned so much about him and about Maurice. And
I think you got a new friend.
He's my buddy. He really is. And I'm going to get the book that he wrote, Jake and the Hot Air Balloon, which is so cool because I have other friends that have written like books, and I too am writing a book. And, but he said it was like a series of like, stories that he had told, his son from like his time in like, visiting the military and things like that. So
he turned his life stories into like children friendly.
Yeah, like I'm going to go on Amazon and see if I can't buy it real quick. But, he was really cool. It's such a fun episode. Yeah, this is what it's all about.
I feel like that guy could tell us. I feel like he could tell us stories for days.
Yeah. Well, and he was saying how he's going to be at the Fort Bragg Music Festival in May, and I've been to Fort Bragg. It's not my favorite part of the coast, but it could be a really fun place to go and see him. So that'd be kind of fun to surprise him.
Should be hating on you guys. I like you. I don't care.
It's just a different part of the coast. It's not my favorite. But anyway, it would be kind of fun. But check him out, and, Big Mo and the Full Moon Band. He's really good. It's like, it's jazz, but like, I mean, it's almost got a little blues in Louisiana kind of. Bluesy. Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, I think he has
great voice.
Yeah, 8-piece band, lots of horns. Yeah, he's awesome. I enjoyed it. What else?
Are we doing postcards?
I don't know. Do you want to?
I feel like we should.
Let's just do it, because Mikey's going to get after us if we don't. But I don't know which ones we've done. But here, speaking of out of everywhere, like Europe and whatnot, let's talk about this one. This is Mary Churchill. It's to Mary Churchill. Yeah. Okay. And it says, greetings from Scotland. The weather has been wet and cold here, but cycling on. Helen Pomerance, Pomerance. And this was from, let's see. Ooh, hang on. Don't give up on me now. That's very pretty. Hang on. Postage for, I know.
You really are like a squirrel.
Well, I can't really read it though. Oh, here we go. Right here in the front. Edina or Edinburgh. Oh, Edinburgh. Oh.
Let me see.
No, that's 1953.
Let me see it.
Oh, well, that's fine, but I think it is Edinburgh. We're going to have to go and do more of these postcards. This is so much fun. If you haven't gone, seriously, go to your local antique shop or even thrift shop and go check out the antiques. It is so, or not the antiques, excuse me, the postcards. It is so much fun. It's just like a little bit of history. And people don't write anymore.
Mary Churchill, how come it says North Kimball, but then it also says Chicago, Illinois?
I don't know. We'll look into it. But anyway, if you know that gal or knew of her, give us a shout out.
But it says Edinburgh. I guarantee you that's from Europe because she was
it said
from
Europe.
Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
So this.
Yeah. Well, of course, because it has to go to different areas to be stamped and get cycled through.
Do you think Mary Churchill, 316 North Kimball, do you think that's the street name?
Let me see, Kimball? Let's see here. Well, yes,
Kimball.
That's who it's to. Oh, but not here. Chicago, Illinois.
I know, that's what I was saying. But it says North Kimball. You think that's the street?
Probably.
Or the town? Or the town?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, because, it's like you do the name and then you do your address and then you do your they should have a zip code here. They didn't put a zip. But yeah, I know that we have Kimball, Minnesota, but it's not Kimball because it says Chicago. But anyway, very cool.
Nice.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, without further ado, do we want to do our pickup line?
Pickup line?
Pickup line? You had a dirty one.
I do.
So dirty.
Do you want me to do it first? I'll let you go first.
All right. If it's dirty, kinky, naughty, messy, I want it. That's all. Go on. Yours is filthy, and I love it.
I hope you like dragons. Because I'll be dragging my balls across your face tonight.
You're so fucking wrong. Oh, God. My kids are going to be like, Mom, he does not. I'll be like, no, he doesn't.
Oh, I feel like we need to apologize to Mo's family for that one. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes. It's our little stupid thing, and we're just dirty people. No, I'm kidding. No, it's all right. All right. Well, that was great.
Yeah. Awesome. It was a phenomenal episode. I hope we get to talk to him again because he was really nice.
Yeah. It was awesome.
It was a fun episode.
So good. I'm looking forward to having that one be shared with everybody because I think a lot of people are going to love it. And yeah, it's going to be great. This is why I like to do the podcast. Is getting people like that we'd never run into them ever. And like we get to introduce him to like the country. I found him. You found him, but because of me and my Chico connection, I got us together. And now we're best buds. And so leave me and Mo alone. I'm kidding. Anyway, super excited. Thank you again, Maurice, for coming on. We really appreciate you. And thank you to your family for letting us steal like 2 hours of your time. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that, further ado, I know you like to do your little plug-a-rooney.
Oh, yeah. Go check us out. We're on Facebook, Instagram.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Go to the website. If you guys think you would be a good guest on this episode.
Yeah. Or know somebody.
Or know somebody that would be on the show.
Yeah.
Let us know. Reach out. You guys can email us or just hit us up on the social medias. One of us will get back to you fairly quickly.
Yeah. Because we don't have anything else to do. We're just twiddling our thumbs.
Go like, share, comment everywhere.
That's it.
Wherever you're listening, because you guys can find us absolutely everywhere now.
Woohoo! Because we're everywhere. We're kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So, yeah. Like, share, send that heart, wherever. Hit that ding, hit that little
we don't
alarm.
Care. Get him to shut up. Get him to stop.
Not going to happen. I'm going to keep talking about it. Get those alarms going so you guys know when the new episodes. I know you're just staring at it.
I'm staring at the food.
So, all right. Anything else?
That's it, babe. I'm like, 1, 2, 3.
No,
okay.
Say goodbye before you fill your mouth.
Peace out, Scout.
Bye.
Bye.